When we picture wealth, we imagine high salaries and expensive cars. We associate getting rich with earning massive paychecks and immediately spending it on luxury. That association creates a psychological block. Take a typical young professional, let's call him Ali. Ali looks at his entry-level paycheck and decides there is no point in saving right now. He tells himself he'll build wealth later, once he secures a promotion and a larger salary. To test the math behind that mindset, we can look at a controlled scenario. Imagine Ali and another young professional, Sarah, both receive a sudden windfall of $5,000. Ali follows his usual habits. He takes the $5,000 and upgrades his lifestyle, buying a new phone, a gaming console, and designer shoes. Because these are depreciating consumer goods, meaning they lose value the moment they are purchased, 5 years from now, that $5,000 is gone. But Sarah makes a completely different choice. She takes her $5,000 and routes it directly into an investment account. She doesn't take on a second job to manage it, and she doesn't trade any of her physical labor to make it grow. This contrast shows that a high income does not automatically translate to wealth. Wealth is the byproduct of the system you apply to your capital, starting with the amount you have available right now. To understand why Sarah's choice is so effective, we have to look past individual behavior and examine the underlying mathematics. The starting point in this system is your principal, which is the initial sum of capital you place into the account. This chart shows how basic growth, known as simple interest, operates. If you invest a baseline principal of $100 at a fixed 10% rate, at the end of year 1, you earn $10. The mechanical limitation of simple interest is that the growth remains static. In year 2, your 10% rate only applies to your original $100. You earn another flat $10, creating a linear staircase. Compound interest shifts how this growth rate is calculated. Looking at the timeline for compound interest, watch what happens in year 2. The 10% rate recalculates. It applies to your original $100 principal and the $10 of interest you already earned. Your return increases to $11. By year 3 and beyond, a compounding loop forms. The new money your investment generated begins generating its own separate interest. The trend line breaks away from the straight staircase and curves upward. In this system, money stops being a static resource and begins to function as an autonomous, self-replicating workforce. We can apply this self-replicating mechanic back to Sarah's initial $5,000 investment to project its future value. This is often compared to a snowball rolling down a steep hill. As it descends, it gathers mass and moves faster on its own, requiring no extra physical effort from the person who initially packed it together. This line graph tracks Sarah's $5,000. Assuming an average 10. To see how time can outweigh the raw amount of capital invested, let's examine a case study involving two friends, Ahmed and Bilal. Ahmed starts at age 20, investing $200 every month. At age 30, he stops contributing entirely. He never adds another cent, but he leaves the funds alone to compound for the next 30 years. Bilal starts at age 30. He also invests $200 every month and does it consistently for 30 years until he reaches age 60. This area chart plots both outcomes side by side. Even though Bilal contributed his own money for 3 times as long, Ahmed ends up with higher total wealth. Ahmed's capital had an additional decade of exposure to the compounding loop. That extra time in the exponent position did more work than 20 years of Bilal's manual contributions. The math suggests 3 specific steps. Start immediately, regardless of capital size, maintain consistency, and allow time to act as the multiplier. In this system, time is more valuable than the money itself. Deploying your capital early is the primary requirement for financial freedom.